This day 1190 Arukh HaShulchan Yomi. If you like sponsor cover share or board Arukh HaShulchan Yomi, it's going to be directly. We very greatly appreciate it. They're doing your day. Simon Kufir test. See if Mem Aleph to Mem Zayin. Mem Aleph. Okasa. The Rama also writes. Mishnah like Beis Davar Iser Mikok Shasover Jedinu Haki. Somebody who conducts himself as that something is usher because he holds that's the halacha. Or Mikok Mashech Me'achatzon is marking around himself. Buta Acholim Achem Shogim Bo Heter. He's allowed to eat together with other people who are lenient. Of course, the classic example would be Chav Yisrael or Yoshua or something like that. Rari Loechel Davar who knowing Bo Iser Akan Lashano. And definitely not going to be something which you are accustomed to, which you uh, uh, maintain as if it as also or at least as a chumrah. Because your fellow Jews are not going to violate lifnei iver and put the food which is not allowed by you in front of you. So then, of course, that only applies if they know that he's makar chav Yisrael yoshan. Below dayan mashkas sim kuvi beis the pasuk kudi sheochlim and hanizar v'ineinizar b'suda achas. It's not comparable to the case where of pasakum that when the person who is meticulous about it, the person is not meticulous about it, are eating one meal, where even the person who's meticulous normally can, and then in these circumstances, because of the eat from the not the pasakum bread, the b'shami mishum eva. They're because of animosity. The pasuk ikasula, since bread is the primary component of the suda, but ain't no iser kavua. It's not a definitive iser mishum lo nispasha iser zebachol yisrael kavua sham, because this iser never was completely accepted in Am Yisrael, as it says there. Mashiach b'shayis not supposed to other things. This is certainly true when it was mutter and he's marking himself to have a kain neder, which is akin to a vow. So it's a gomer, an oath, and that's absolutely awesome because of the vow aspect. But even the also did this halacha, to have a kain toast where it's more like a mistake, not like a neder. Since he holds it's also, nation sober, okay, is the day because he holds like some opinion, which holds that way. So over him, lifnei iver, we're going, but definitely people who feed him violate lifnei iver, etc. That's why we're not don't suspect them that they're going to do it if they know that the guy is makid. But if they don't know that he conducts himself stringently in this matter, he has to tell them. Brackets, he says here, Dina man hug me agos marchai so pekan livamas, ve'am hachta osu beishamai kidivreim, ayin shom. This is right for this that beishamai when they were in close contact with Basil, they still follow their own minhag. But Yishrai Michulin Kuvirav Midong Shul Bakar Sham Sham Chasle Zara Michulin. I don't recall the reference offhand. Membes Yesh Me'ak Doilin. There's some Dolim Shal Google also Klolim, but there was one gadol of the Klolim. Also Klolim, but I didn't say who made general principles in this halacha. By the Mishnah Isser Beis Adover, meaning that somebody who conducts himself with some matter as if it's usher. Machash Sober Shadin Kain. Not as if for him because he holds halachas that way. But in the house of somebody who permits this and does not think it's asur. If the isur, the forbidden substance, is recognizable, identifiable by the person who forbids it, the one who allows it can eat it. Not eat, can feed it to him. Feed it to him. Because that's his business. This really is the guy holds is really awesome. Then it's up to him not to eat. But if this is not recognizable, so the person given to doesn't necessarily know that it's awesome. Then the person who says it's okay cannot feed it to the other guy. We can't cook stuff for him in his vessels. Even it's not ben yomo. The ben yomo, the bas yomo, the cooking something of the opposite gender, of the opposite of either bas or b'chala after 24 hours is b'diavad. It's not l'chatchila. Um, uh, 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 that's a day, and bas yoma ain't a little bit the evidence. Koshkin shoser asur, shoser asur lo mala matil v'ashol b'kev, and the person who answers, who holds it, also the substance may not tell the person who permits it to cook him this dish in his kalim. But if the matter is cooking for himself and for others, it's cooking stuff which the other person eats, but he's doing his own kalim, right? It's still that's what we're making on here, um, um, because that's like the Evid. Well, it's already um, it's, he's already cooking for himself, so include the other guy's stuff, and don't have to koshish for the blias, for the stuff which seeps on the walls. But also over machmas minag avosav bnei medina also should know agukein. So he forbids something because of the conduct of the tradition of his fathers and his countrymen. Also la mati la achilo afilu meisa nikar. The person who's matir it, who holds his mutter, can't feed him this substance even if it's recognizable. Uh, um, and even if the person himself who asks it can take himself and eat it, nevertheless, I can give it to him. Mikoko, who else will eat it? Davi Kamoshi Yoko Sanos, it's like you're giving a cup of wine to a Nazir. Classic case of Mifnever. V'neged zeyachol oser afilu levashel chatchila b'kelev shamatik she'en b'nei yomer b'stam kelim. So, in contradistinction to this, the person who holds its usher, he can cook the chatchila and the kelim. The person who holds its mutter if they're not b'nei yomer, or in stam kelim, which he doesn't know. Kind of stam kelim b'nei yomer because we hold that by default kelim are considered to be more than 24 hours for the last use. The davar shum minhag, something which account a minhag lo kiblu aleim isur kelim she'em bnei yoma. They weren't makabel isur of kelim which are not bnei yoma. So have to do with gebrachs on Pesach, especially when it also applied to kitnios. Probably not, but the gebrachs certainly would apply. Of course, you know, machmer and gebrachs probably are machmer this too, but this type of thing he's talking about. So nevertheless, if the person who holds is permitted is here, and you can ask him. You have to ask him because came are happening between 24 hours, if not, because you can clarify it. And it's a minute by the person is the only kid who holds it sauce. He only keeps kosher at home, right? He only in his own place he's makbid on this. In places where they are lenient, he's not so concerned. Not to cook in their not to cook in their vessels. Maybe it's he can cook even within 24 hours of its last use. That's interesting. So in other words, it's not that he keeps kosher at home and not outside. He keeps kosher at home, meticulously, and outside he's making on kalim. Because they can be makel even on bas yoima. Ikulana ken kain. If this is what that everybody does there. But he says the food, it's only cook in the pot, not to eat the food which he owes his usher. So even though he's out of town traveling, he still keeps kosher, so to speak. And on the other hand, the guy who normally holds it to be usher, he really holds its heter, but he's muchrach. In his own place, he's compelled to go like the custom of the people in the city. So he can eat the food itself in the place where it should allow it. I feel that to lax, so he has the mind to go back to his own city. So we see the idea of people being able to take responsibility for them and hug him on their own. Okay? This bracket says there's Shasi Pkot and Chaf, Shem Maril Chaviv, Din Ze Achon Tzrechi and Garo. Or so it's not so happy this halacha. Even though loving Ho Kanchim also since, okay, he might not hold this way, but he has to conduct himself like people in his town. Ech Mutar Lecho, but so how can he have prepared? How can he have minutes to eat when he outside when he has das to go back? Unless the people in the city they do it by mistake. But if they accept the chumrah and biyad yachi l'shans minhag. The individual cannot uh, change the minhag unilaterally. Raimin may baishton the psachim. Ulai gan come as a shachlei gavna. Meshach also means that, and not that not by daito lachs or by daito lachs, he can't be lenient. Vayim prichodesh or chaim siman top saivav sherich harbe bedinim elu. He spends a long time in these halachas. Mem Gimel. Ger, but Yom Kadmonim, that's censorship. Ger in ancient times. Not sure what the issue was. And being careful not to be seen promoting Geras in Russia, but that was the issue. So Ger in ancient went back to his original ways on account of fear. And a Jew also who sinned on account of fear that they shouldn't kill him. Yisrael Gamor. Both of them remained complete Jews. She doesn't terrorists and their shechit is permitted. They know also yain b'mago. Don't forbid wine if they touch it. In other words, like an anusim, who were called derogatorily Moranos. They remain Jewish. Miu inquired the starish but if he became really, really mired in this, Enoch so is no longer like a Jew. After several generations, anusim no longer considered Jewish because they became completely immersed in the surrounding culture, and probably intermarriage as well. But that's not what he's talking about here. He's talking about in terms of credibility. Well, somebody who snitches to the people who then will seize Jewish property. There's machlokas. There's a place from shchita. So there's those who pass the shchita, and them once yisurim, and say he has no credibility and prohibitions. Some people say he's kosher. As by El Stibus Simon, Samach Base Ayin Sham. Ubiyan Sham, the Sifte Zayin Tzarchin Ladina B'Yim Shal Arich B'Zeh. Not clear what how he paskin, and we can't spend a long time discussing it. I am B'Chesh Mishra Sim Shim Beches. I guess it's discussed there. Because Rabbi Yosef, Avrayon Shabir Achas Ma'min Ba'Avodas Kochavim. A singer has like a Dr. Jekyll and Mr. Hyde situation. In one city, he believes in Avodah Zarah, because there was Zarah there. The Acheres Nichnas Abeis Yisrael, but in another city, he comes into the Jewish house, formerly to Yehudi, and he says he's Jewish. Ain't no say Yain Nesach. He doesn't make wine Yain Nesach. Chol Yisrael Meinanema, but he's not believing in any prohibitions. Oh, here it is. Okay, look at this. Anusim Bisfard, the Anusim who in Spain, Shnishur, some remain in Spain, maybe Snagim Bekashus Beina Ben Atzma, if they conduct themselves kashrus amongst themselves, maybe only Malay to Makom, Shukla Avodah Hashem, and what was this here? The Beisesa. They don't have the wherewithal or the opportunity to flee to a place where they can serve Hashem fully. Some Shitasan, relying their Shita, and they don't ask the wine that they touch. Now, the last line in Arukh HaShulchan is cryptic. That's the reason why these dinim are relevant today is because either's going last thing and saying we don't have anusim anymore who were medaktek and kashrus. At best, they have some vestiges of it. Or he means that on the censorship, he's saying that we don't accept Gary nowadays. We don't seek Gorim, don't accept them. That was a moot point. Memda, Kosva to Vishon receive you test. They write the Omer Lamishu Chashul Leachol Gvina Shel Kutim Knei Gvina Kshem Namucha. He tells go to somebody who's suspect to buy a tray of cheese. They tell him to buy kosher cheese from a mumche, from somebody who's an expert. V'ach vevi lo. They went and bought it for him by Malok Sheri, and he said it's kosher. Mumcha Knisi, I bought it from the expert. And her name was not believed. Mish Ploni mumche, he said the specific person who was the mumche for which he bought it. Kanisi, Naaman. In that case, he is believed. Havila mincha b'shem echad me'amumchim. If you brought a gift from someone who's known to be an expert, that money is believed. Shein the chashuv he was not suspect to change it. Bedvar moim is shuk shein chashuv gezel. He's not suspect on theft. I mean chashuv gezel. He's suspect on theft. Koshkin chashuv chalifin. It's only suspect to switch. I can't show it. Because as I've been Ramah, because ain't no name chashuv is the deraisa. I can't show it. This is not having. This is only by chashuv in the rabbanon. It's not by the raisas. Mem hey, birad varim. What does it mean to say? Let me buy armali stan kelik vino. He goes that saying, he told generically, just buy me cheese. Ain't no naman that this person not believe. Shamalei stam b'mucha nakisi was told him without attribution that he bought it from an expert. I feel I'm like kelik mina mumcha. If you told this guy who eats the gvina saka, buy me from an expert. I would have said mistama by default. Lava Advaram, he didn't violate the terms of the Balbos. Came to Ein Omer Bish Ploni. It doesn't say buy from so and so person. Lo Mirsas, the agent is not trembling, not afraid of being caught. Shaka and he'll lie. I was trying to reach Ploni. It says from a certain person, specified person. Mirs then the person who eats miyasakum, it's mirsas. He's afraid. Shem Misham maybe you're going to ask that person. The name says Shakron. It would turn out to be a liar. Feel low Mishakeh, that's just not going to lie. Chagavna Neman, I feel low Amar Lam Mashak Klaushikim and Amumcha. This is, in this case, scenario, he's believed, even if the person who sent him did not tell him to buy from a mumcha, but he comes back on his own and says, Ish Ploni Mumcha, I bought it. But if the Mishaleach, the person sent him, said, buy me such and such mumcha, Ufava, my limit to see, even he comes back and he says, I didn't find that mumcha. Couldn't see mumcha ploni. I bought it from a different mumcha. Ain't no name, is not believed. Came Shema, each point since the Mishaleach, the guy sending him, said from a specific person, have a kpeda. He means it. He is meticulous about this. Ki ilu armalei any mamin raklos aboid, as if he's saying, I only believe that person. The Kemet Shishram Shlichus says he deviated from the Shlichus Shuvlom Samchin Asvar Mirthas. We no longer rely on the Svar of that he's afraid to be found out. Gavin is by the Chashu Lechol, Eno Chashu Lachlif, even though we said that somebody's suspect, he is not suspect to switch unless he's a Goslin. So he's bleeding other people's. Konkam Davish Nasel Yodo. He is saying which he's making on his own. Ain't on that money is not believed. Ain't got time of the mirsas without if there is no logic of mirsas. There should ain't a choshev isses there because another thing is usher. There should be starts to lay lech li kach li amucha loga michal choshev. So because maybe he went therefore as didn't hold it's really usher. Maybe he was too lazy to go to a real mumcha and he took from a suspicious person. Roshon says in brackets nearly seems to be. Memvav, Avok Shivi, Matan Mishem Echamachim, brought him a gift in the name of one of the experts. Naaman is believed, Hein Lachushem, Chlif, we're not considering him to switch it. Shein Achosh Lachi is not suspect of switching. Because Hein Lachushem, Mishalon, Asalom, you also don't have to say, well, maybe he's really giving the gift himself. He's just saying it's about our Godler's gift in order to get him off his back, in order to he shouldn't be on his back. I know why I chose the wrong color. Sorry. The Ein Derech, again, he's not suspect to switch the matanos, even between two people. I'm not concerned that maybe it comes from his own stock. It's not normal for people to give their own gift on somebody else's name. In this case, if he didn't mention the name of the expert. He said, Stam Mucha Sholch L'chag Vinazu. Stop, he said Stam, generically. This a Mumcha sent you. A Mumcha sent you this cheese. You can't come with this, also okay. Why? Because why should we be concerned? Maybe say he's lying. He said he got it from an expert. Maybe he got it from somebody who's talking, not an expert. And coming else and has in mind to cause them a stumbling block. We know he's not suspect to do that. And that was when Shulchan wrote in the name of one of the mumchim. So it's not Milsa Kamar, saying the normal occurrence. So saying the name of one means to mention name because that's what people normally do. Not that's necessarily impediment. It's not like purchasing. The Mishakalamami Mumcha Konisi. So that's when he's bringing a gift. Right. But if he says, I bought from a Mumcha, where we are Choshish to Mishakalamami Mumcha Konisi, Asher Chosh Lachliv, even though he's not concerned to, he is concerned, he's not suspect to switch and to cause a stumbling block. That's what I mean, because they would say he was too lazy to go to the mumcha. Although he's ramming le mumcha, he didn't find a mumcha. But kana he bought from a person who's suspect. We see him, he may have some money, he's afraid because he lost some money. If not, most he gives the money on his own accord. I mean, I they most. And they have some manasa mishalo hamos. I don't know if that fits in here. So it means like this. If the Mishalech told you, go buy and I'll reimburse you, he's certainly afraid to lose his money. If I feel Mishalech most, even if the Mishalech sent his money, money for the what do you call it? The Shliach. Where were I? Most Mishnah is afraid that he's not going to demand the money back. When he tells him he bought it from somebody suspect. That's where afraid in that case is going to lie. In order to get his money or retain his money. And say I bought it from so and so. As opposed to a gift. But all this, therefore all this is when he's not suspect to be a thief. He's suspect to be a thief. Thief is certainly suspect on switching. You can't send him to buy anything for you no matter what. Can't be a matana, let's not bring a gift. I'm afraid maybe he's going to skip for something, for a switch or something which is of less quality. He said, "Oh, this doesn't apply." So it's just when it's the right. So Rabbi Tosla, many people complain about this. The time of the mirsas, that person is afraid. What's in the Torah prohibition? What's the able to see in base? Somebody who deliberately eats a trait when he has a desire for it. He's believed to say that such and such mumcha shechted for me. Be time on the mirsas because he's afraid to lie. Me Yeshlam, we could say, however, so b'shchita kaimu romatzim and shchita mumchine. By shchita we have a rov on our side. Most of the b'shchita who do shchita are experts. Became the zeborosh beyatzmo lo shachat, and since it's clear that he himself didn't shech shachat, it's acher shechted by somebody else. Mutter is permissible. Mitam rov matzim, even though he's not, but the rov are matzim, the rov matzim is by shchita mumchine. Abishari see the rest by other prohibitions. Lo tzichin amirsas. We don't lie on mirsas. Number sim pay vav kasav if there's no rov. On the Simon Pevav Kasahu Batzmo, the Simon Pevav he wrote himself. Even Nanju says that these eggs came from a kosher bird. Naman, he's believed. Kosher can be swallowed. Chashun. The Nanjus believe certainly he swallowed, even if he's a suspect, it should be permitted. Beitzim to aim Harry Avi Isser Torah. And Beitzim to aim are an Isser Torah. But say but also this we could say came Shvatzmo Machron, they're on his own eggs, straight from the grower. Some we rely on him to tell us what he's selling actually. Shemar, or perhaps I like this better. Since most eggs in the world are kosher. Time in the mirsas we can lie on mirsas. By having Romatzin it's a shita, and it's similar to Romatzin it's a shita. My strange tried as opposed to any other thing. Kam ein levi raya that time in the mirsa samchina api sutora me'aguna di itasa. You can't bring a raya from the fact, but there's an isutor where we rely on mirsas by when we're dealing with agunos. Then that we believe even her to say her husband died. Since you were more severe in the end, and the Devin says the consequences could be devastating. So she's afraid to lie because be almost. The Shema can say the Sham Hamora Nogea Etzem Gufa. There, the Mora has to do with her herself, whether she's going to commit an avera or have or bring mamzeim to her, stuff like that. Mashenkin Bezeh, as opposed to by us, the Hamoru Rakshalo Ifos of Sheker. Only because he's just considered that shouldn't be quoted as a liar. Lachain din zeh who's have a spake of the dina. So it's questionable if we can trust the Yisrael Choshed. Even though it's Mirsas. Because those are run between. Yeah.